You are listening to Redefining Rural, a podcast dedicated to celebrating, elevating, and changing the way we think about rural education in the state of Colorado and beyond. Download and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to follow us on your favorite social media platform.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Redefining Rural podcast. It's hard to believe it's October 10th, and we're kicking our show off for the 22-23 school year, and we're really excited to be here. My name is Michelle Murphy. I'm here with my partners in crime, Denille LePlatt and Kirk Banghart. Good to see both of your faces as always. Couple of things. We're going to kick off our series this year talking about really exciting recruitment and retention programs throughout the state. I think we're all seeing on the news, written and spoken, the struggles that we're having in our urban and suburban districts, and as always, our rural districts around educators, special service providers, even as we were talking earlier, superintendents and administrators. And as always the case, rural districts are doing some pretty cool things to address that concern and get really qualified and exciting people in front of their kids. So Denille, talk to us a little bit. You're in the field dealing with this every day. Talk to us a little bit about what it looks like, and then the grant program that you, before you left the department, that you kicked off to support this work.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. So it's great to be back, and thanks for listening. And to that point, I think that educator shortage has been affecting our school districts for a very long time, but we've been working to address that in a number of ways. And I think in the past year, we've really thought deeply about how our educator shortage is linked to the opportunities that we're providing for our students in our school districts. And so with the initiation of the Rural Co-Action Grant, we're able to build out an educator pathway for students. And there are a number of districts and BOCES across the state that are very focused on creating some pathways for students to get to an educator track. And so in our BOCES, that's something that we are working to do. We're working on building some partnerships with higher ed and thinking about how we get our best and brightest students engaged in and interested in pursuing an educator pathway. Part of what we're working on as well is just the alignment across the system and how we can get kids more engaged in school, especially after COVID. So everything that we're doing right now is really focused on making sure kids are supported, engaged, and making sure that we're supporting our staff as well. And so, as you said, I think there are a number of projects happening across the state right now, whether they're linked to the co-action funding or not, that are really encouraging people to get into the classroom and also encouraging people to stay in the classroom. And I think those are going to be the stories that we're going to be highlighting throughout the season.
Yeah, Kirk, I know that you've been doing some great work through the grant process and otherwise. Talk to us about some of the programs that we'll highlight as we go through the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And so to piggyback on what Denille said, I think, what we're seeing as always is the shortage is definitely affecting what's going on, but the innovation that happens in rural, I think is always something that we like to show, that no matter what, rural tries and puts forward a way to get through any challenge to do that. And so I think we've got some great examples that we're excited to highlight on this season of Redefining Rural. I think some of the things that we're seeing is areas of across the state where people are looking at what does housing do and how that helps with recruitment and retention, and ways to make affordable housing happen in some of our resorts and remote areas. So I think that's pretty exciting. Again, really, what does it look at like so we can help get more people into the teaching profession, and how can we start that early, and what that looks like also to help take off some of the burden of cost to go into the teaching profession and be able to get credits early for like high schoolers who really see themselves as teachers in the future, and how we can reduce their costs to get certified in those areas. We're seeing some of those innovations going on. So really exciting stuff going on in the rural space. And so I think we're excited to share with you all some of these stories as we go through this season of Redefining Rural.
Yeah, and really great partnerships with higher education partners coming in and developing programming, whether it's UC Denver partnering with local community colleges so that students and paraprofessionals can continue to work in the district as they get their bachelor's and get their training, whether it's UC Colorado Springs partnering with the Pikes Peak BOCES on their federal apprenticeship program, again, online trainings, academic supports as, and I think, Kirk, you mentioned UNC coming in behind some of their districts up in that part of the state. So we're really excited by the opportunities and the just great teamwork and commitment that we're seeing from our higher ed partners to go above and beyond to get our teachers, our paraprofessionals, our students who already know and love our communities into the classroom and true grow your own fashion. So we'll be talking about all that and more, some of the, the recruitment programs and the mental health supports that we're coming in behind our teachers because their jobs are not getting easier as we go. So just a great gratitude space. And if those of you listening, please get in touch if there's programs or ideas that you want us to highlight, because everybody is looking for places and spaces. And this is actually somewhere where we actually have a fair amount of funding to support educators as they go through their licensure process, thanks to our state legislature in that regard. Anything else from either of you two?
No, I just think we're excited to be back hosting and being with you for our 4th season of Redefining Rural.
I was wondering what season
excited.
it was.
Yeah, very excited to keep that going. And thank you all for who are listening. And please, as always, make sure that you like so that we can keep putting those high on your ratings and keep going out to the greater community. So thank you so much for listening. And we look forward to our 4th season.